For daily Ask Reddit. r/Ask Reddit. People who grew up poor, what did you used to think was normal? For my school's Spirit Week, they had a thrift shop day where most everyone dressed in old ratty clothes or the weirdest stuff they could find in a thrift shop. Needless to say, as someone whose clothes were 80% secondhand, it was an eye-opener. I never saw my parents because they worked so much. When I was in elementary school, we lived in an apartment above the bar they owned. My time with them was spent working in the kitchen, doing homework at the bar, and then walking upstairs to put myself to bed. We eventually moved, and I was always alone. From Wednesday morning through Saturday, I would wake and walk to school, come home, make dinner, do homework, and go to bed with no contact from an adult. This continued throughout secondary school, from 6th through 12th grade. I was so incredibly lonely, but it was normal for me. I can't imagine how my world would have been different if they didn't need to work so much to scrape by. How do you think this impacted you, now that you're grown up? Are you close with your parents now? I think this has impacted me quite a bit as an adult. I feel rather invisible as a person. With the exception of my children, I can confidently say that if I disappeared, it would impact no one. I also overcompensate with my kids, spending a ton of time with them and getting extremely nervous when I can't be there for them. Holidays are odd, as I have few traditions. My parents are divorced now. My mom remarried a wealthy man, and my elderly father works at a fast food restaurant, even though he's past traditional retirement age. We live in different parts of the country, and I talk to my mom once a week and my dad twice a week. So, not close, but not distant. Although they were not the best parents, they are good people, and I know they tried their best. Everyone in the house going into the kitchen to see what groceries were brought home, and being so excited, as if it was Christmas. Also, now that my family is doing a lot better than when I was growing up, we find ourselves hoarding food, stocking up on canned goods, buying things in bulk on sale, as if we are waiting for those rainy days to hit again. Does anyone else experience this? Oh my god, yes. Getting groceries was the highlight of my month. The warmth and safety I would feel seeing the bags under the kitchen light in the evening, I doubt I'll ever forget. And yeah, now that I'm living with my fiancé, we have to keep food stocked up, or I feel like we'll never have enough to maintain our health ever again. I get truly paranoid. I was totally shocked when I learned that some people go out to eat more than once a year. Also, when I learned there are people who don't skip meals. I was shocked to find out people eat out on a regular day, like not anyone's birthday or any other celebration. I remember being so happy when my mom rewarded me with fast food fried chicken meal for school achievements in elementary school. When I was an undergraduate, my sister told me my mom would skimp on their meals just to buy me those. Yeah, we went to those fancy Western fast food places. They were still good in my country back in the 1980s, and I always wondered what the other families there were celebrating. Not completely innocent kid me did figure out maybe they went a teensy bit more often than we did, but I still thought they were at least there for some occasion. Birthday, dad got a raise, sports team won, whatever. Didn't cross my mind at all that people would go there for no reason other than they just felt like it. Years later I got my first paycheck and went duck yeah and bought an entire cake. Turns out it's not actually possible to eat a whole cake by yourself in one sitting. Like, goddamn, there's so much freaking cake. Going on vacation to the local hotel in our hometown. We got to play in the pool and order delivery pizza, a rare treat, and we always had a blast. I loved these vacations. They were the highlight of my childhood in many ways. Pepperoni pizza and bottled Coke never tasted so good as when you had been swimming for 4 hours straight. The combo of pizza plus hotel plus pool chlorine smell brings me back. As a kid I didn't know there were multiple settings on a water heater. I assumed everybody had to wait an hour or so after somebody uses the shower to get some hot water going. I'm embarrassed to admit that I recently found out about continuous flow of hot water 5 years ago. I was 25. I spent the weekend at my then future in-laws house. The conversation went something like this. Fiance, I'm going to shower before dinner. Me, but your brother just got out 5 minutes ago. Fiance explains how they never run out of hot water. My mind was blown. Never traveling out of the country or state. Kids always talked about where they traveled, like during breaks, summer vacation for example. I think it was a grade 6 project in September, and we had to draw maps to geographic locations where we went that summer. My map was just of the town and going to the grocery store and church and stuff. Hopefully it made my teacher rethink that project for the future. Only having lunch at school, like that being the only meal of the day. I learned when I was like 10. Then I started saving my food and bringing it home so my brother and sister could eat. Oh man, this just hurt my heart. You are such a good sibling. Hope you and your family are in a better place now. Thanks, mate. Yes, much better and far less food insecure. Was hard as a kid, but made me a better person now. Skipping lunch/dinner periodically so one of us could have all 3 meals. Like Tuesdays plus Thursday plus Sunday I didn't eat dinner, but my mom plus little brother did, and every other day my mom didn't eat lunch or dinner so me and my brother could. I only started skipping meals for my mom because she was getting physically sick from not eating. My mom having to buy a new 3,000 car every couple of years because our previous one broke down and we don't have enough to repair it. Coming home to see the water/electricity were off. Having to buy jugs of water at the dollar store so we could flush the toilet, leaving a giant hole in the entryway where water had leaked through because we just couldn't afford to repair it. Not having heat/shack. Having to bath with water from jugs plus waking up and realizing our washing machine had broken down again. So I'd rub my dirty clothes with washing detergent to try and mask the stale scent clothing gets when it hasn't been washed to this day. People making comments about something smelling weird, even if not directed at me, makes me have major anxiety attacks. Only having one pair of super cheap shoes that we'd have to wear until they fell apart. The amount of times I tripped over the soles of my own shoes in my HS hallways was ridiculous.